Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
Hi there. I was calling to see about some advice on how to talk with my wife about saving more than spending. My wife's a spender. I'm a saver. We're aligned on our goals, but she just spends a lot of things here and there. And so just some advice on that.
Was there like a spit shake on, hey, here's how much we're going to spend, here's what the budget says, stick to it?
Yeah, we've budgeted out a lot of different things. We even have a split to where we have our own fund money, where it's like $100 a month that we can spend it on whatever we'd like. But there's a lot of gifts and celebrations and things like that my wife wants to make sure we're showing love to our friends and family. And then just things add up very quickly, and then things are gone.
Is this a communication challenge, or is your wife being spiteful? Because there's two different ways to approach this.
I don't think it's either. Okay. My wife and I communicate very, very well,
okay,
and frequently about it. And I don't think she's being very spiteful at all. She agrees that we need to be saving, and we want the things we want. Where a house and being able to retire, as both of our families aren't in that basket at all and don't have a retirement even in their 50s and 60s. And we don't want to do that, but she just kind of forgets about the things, and it doesn't think about the $20 here or $20 there or $100 here, and it just kind of adds up. And so if there's anything that we can do to try something different, because we've tried like different cards that only have a certain amount of money on it each month to help limit that. But obviously I don't want her stranded, so she has access to a card that has access to the main fund for gas and all that kind of stuff. But
are you guys only using debit cards, or are there some credit cards still being used?
No. We only have debit cards. I hate credit. I always have. But yeah, we only use debit cards.
Most, I don't mean to overly gender this, but this is just the way it plays out in the real world. Most of the time when I talk to men in your situation, they try to solve this with a plan, a strategy, a new card, a new spreadsheet, a new commitment ceremony. And the only way I've ever seen somebody be successful is if they are honest with their spouse about the story behind the story behind the strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be you sitting down and saying, I need to be open with you. Can I tell you something that's scaring me to death? And her say, oh, sure, honey, what's going on? And you say, I'm scared to death about not having any money. And I'm feeling like I'm not communicating this well, because every month there's another $250 in gifts and stuff like that in $20 increments.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't feel like I'm being fully honest here at the table. And you notice I did two things here. Number one, I was honest. You told her how you felt. You didn't throw a strategy at her. And number two, you used the word I, not you keep overspending and you keep doing that, because when she does that, man, she's going to go back to her childhood. She's going to go to war.
Yeah.
My guess is she's going to have to decide, I would rather feel the short-term discomfort of not having a gift for every single thing that pops up, because I never could buy gifts for anybody, or I never got any gifts for anybody, and now I can, so I feel like I have to. She's going to have to give up that short-term pleasure for the long-term safety of me and my husband don't have to worry about not having anything to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And that's hard. And I haven't seen a way to get there without emotion, without a story, without you saying, this is how I feel.
Yeah.
And if she looks at you and says, I don't care how you feel, I'm buying gifts for this thing, well, now y'all got a deeper issue y'all got to deal with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can you do that?
Yeah, most definitely.
The other side of this, Lester, when it comes to the tactical, is that you should be sitting down with her before the month begins going, hey, what's happening this month? A birthday should not be a surprise. We know when the birthdays are happening. Christmas happens on December 25th every year. I checked my calendar, still happening. And so you kind of know what's coming up, and you adjust the budget accordingly. So if we need to add a gift line item in the budget, let's do that. If we need to add a miscellaneous sort of little catch-all of $50 or $100, let's do that so it doesn't derail our plans.
Well, that's often really important, because that's when the $20 plus $20 plus $50 turns into $310, and she goes, oh gosh, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And the other thing is we check the budget before we make the purchase. So if we go to the gift and we go, oh gosh, I wish we're going to have to do a handmade gift. Let's make a little basket. Let's get some roses from the garden. Let's
George
get creative.
made me a basket once.
John still has it. He loves it.
It was a great gift.
So Lester, that's where we come up with a solution together and have the conversation. But there is a part of this that's on her as far as accountability going, you need to check the budget before you make the purchase. That's how I do it. That's how you do it. We can't just hope that we lined up with the budget perfectly. We use that as our guiding kind of North Star. And I think when you do that, you start to add in these line items. It starts to be less and less of a surprise. You get to kind of align it a little more. And on top of that, what is your next goal? What is the thing you guys both agreed to is the next thing that we're saving up for?
Well, it's not necessarily saving up for. It's like being able to pay off our debts. So
you're in baby step 2.
Correct.
So
yes.
Even more in baby step 2, there's even more intentional sacrifice and intensity here where it's going, we can't afford to buy people gifts. We got to put our own mask on first. We're broke. And think about how many gifts we can buy people once we're debt-free with an emergency fund. We're preparing for our future. Then we can look up for opportunities to give and be generous. And so I think that's part of it is you need to have a plan together going, we're going to pay off $700 a month of debt, and here's how we're going to do it. Versus, we really need to save more, really got to get rid of this debt. We need to get more specific so we can actually hit the target.
Lester, have you tried any of these things we're throwing at you? Or does it all sound crazy?
No. Yeah, and these are conversations we've had, but I agree. I haven't been very specific with it. My wife and I are blessed to be in the positions that we're in. I mean, I'm making more money than I ever thought I would before, and it's not been specific of, hey, we're going to spend X amount of dollars on our debt every single month because we have to. It's just been we want to spend more on our debts. And realistically, we don't have a lot of debt, even student loans and medical debt and things like that included. We don't have a lot. And so within a year, we could easily have 80% of it paid off.
Dude, put that plan in front of her. Put that plan in front of her, and y'all talk through it. And then more importantly than that plan, paint a picture for her of how you're going to be able to breathe in your own home. How you and her are going to have something neither of y'all have ever had, which is economic security. Let her just absorb that and feel her husband radiating this thing that you've probably never radiated before, which is just peace. Man, it makes there's not a lot of gifts I'm going to buy in exchange for my wife's peace, for my peace. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then, by the way, once you get that peace, once y'all, like George said, you don't owe anybody money, you can buy gifts for everybody. You could be kind of over the top and reckless with who you buy gifts for because you don't owe anybody any money.
So this little plan, this 1 year thing we're after, this is just part of reverse engineering the picture you painted her. So instead of we got to get on a budget, you got to spend less, it becomes, hey, remember, that's what we're aiming for. This is a little blip on that timeline of intentionality and sacrifice. Are you with me? And I hope that helps. We're going to gift you EveryDollar Premium, Lester. What are you using right now for a budget when you guys sit down together?
Pen and paper. And then I use an Excel sheet, and that's kind of it.
Yeah, you do. I knew you were an Excel
If you show
guy.
a spender an Excel sheet, they implode inside.
They die
That's scientific.
inside. They just die.
So we're going to gift you EveryDollar Premium. It's much easier to look at, easier to use. You both log in. You both have accountability. So while she's out, she can actually check the budget versus Lester's spreadsheet at home.
Create your free EveryDollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.